Now in this lesson we're going to take a look at solving three problems, and there's three different types of outcomes. And the lab will ask you if the answer is conditional, if it's an identity, or the contradiction. Well, conditional means that there's one answer. The identity means that there's infinite solutions. And then contradiction means that there is no solution. Okay? So what we need to do is solve each one of these equations, and we'll see what happens at the end. In this first one, if we solve it, we would start off distributing the 5 and get 10x plus 30 minus 2 equals, distribute the 7, 7x plus 28. And then we combine our like terms on the left-hand side to get 28 here. And then we get 10x plus that equals 7x plus 28. Now, on the left-hand side, we want to, or on the 7x, we subtract the 7x on both sides. And then we also want to subtract our 28. And we want to make sure we're not losing our equal sign, so the equal sign is still right here. And on the right-hand side, everything canceled. So when it cancels, don't get scared, it turns into a 0. Okay? On the left-hand side, we get 10 minus 7, which gives us 3x. So 3x equals 0. To finish, I divide by 3, and 0 divided by 3 is 0. So now, this solution was conditional. Now, it's conditional because it's true on the condition that x is 0. In other words, this equation is true when x is 0. That's a condition. So now we're going to take a look at the second problem here. And in working it out, the first thing I should do is distribute the 5, and that should give me 5x minus 15. On the left-hand side, we get 5x minus 15 also. So you could stop here and say, oh, the left side is equal to the right side, but you might not notice. So I would go ahead and subtract a 5x, and then you're like, oh, wait a second. The x has just disappeared. I get negative 15 equals negative 15 is left over. And then most of my students, they're like, well, the x has disappeared, so no solution. And that's not true. So slow down, because what you want to look at is, I've got negative 15 equals negative 15. Okay, the x's disappear. Don't run to no solution yet. The thing you need to run to is this true or is this false? Well, negative 15 equals negative 15. As it would also be if I added the 15 to both sides and got 0 equals 0. Still a true statement. If it's true, it's actually all real numbers. We call this identity. So this is an example where the variables cancel and the solution is identity. In other words, it's all real numbers. And that means that you can plug in any number here for x and it will make this a true statement. It doesn't matter. The left side is equal to the right side at the variable level. So now we'll take a look at this last problem and see what it holds for us. So the first thing we're going to do here is distribute the 5, and we should get 5x minus 20. The left-hand side is 5x minus 15. So I go ahead and subtract my 5x just like I did on the last problem. And this time the variables cancel, and I know we freak out and we're like, oh, no solution. Well, actually this time it is no solution, but because of the fact that you end up with negative 15 equals negative 20. And you're supposed to look at that, you're supposed to think to yourself, alright, the variables cancel, that means I'm supposed to think true or false. Well, this time, this is not true, because negative 15 is not negative 20, so it's false. Whenever you get the false answer, that's when you say no solution. Okay, and if it's no solution, we call it in this class and in the lab a contradiction. Okay, so again, variables might cancel. If they do cancel, you got to think true or false. In this first case it was true, in the second case it was false. So when it's false, you get no solution. If it's true, it's identity, all real numbers. Okay? And then if you have just any answer, like we've had in the whole last lesson, those are all conditional on that particular one answer. Okay.